It was just another Sunday evening, the kind where you pull into your parents' driveway, the familiar crunch of gravel under your tires. The house looked the same, white picket fence, porch light flickering like it's been meaning to burn out for years. I stepped inside, greeted by the smell of roasted chicken and the clatter of plates from the kitchen. My mom called out, "Dinner's almost ready, come on in." Her voice carried that practiced cheer, but something felt off, like a smile stretched too thin. My dad stood up, hesitating before settling on a nod instead of a hug. My sister, slouched at the table, barely looked up from her phone, her teenage disinterest still clinging to her at 20. The table was set, my usual glass of cranberry juice waiting. Everything seemed normal, but beneath the small talk and clinking forks, a quiet tension simmered, ready to unravel. The dining room was warm, the kind of cozy you'd expect from a family dinner, with the clink of silverware and the soft hum of my dad's voice droning on about road construction in town. My mom nodded along, her smile a little too bright, like she was playing a part in a play I hadn't auditioned for. My sister, as usual, was glued to her phone, her thumb scrolling with that lazy rhythm of someone who'd rather be anywhere else. I was halfway through a bite of green beans, trying to keep up with the small talk. Works fine. Traffic's a nightmare, you know the drill, when my phone buzzed in my lap. It wasn't a big deal at first. Phones buzz all the time. But something about the timing, the way it vibrated against my thigh, made me glance down. I tilted the screen under the table, keeping it out of sight, and there it was, a text from a number I didn't recognize. No emojis, no casual greeting, just cold, stark words. "Get up and leave now. Don't say anything to your parents." My heart did a quick flip, like it had tripped over itself. I read it again, the words burning into my brain. But this text was a scream in the middle of a lullaby. Who would send something like that? A prank? A scam? Some kind of twisted joke? My first instinct was to laugh it off, to chalk it up to spam or a friend messing with me. But deep down, a small, sharp voice whispered that this wasn't a game. The periods at the end of each sentence felt deliberate, like someone trying to sound calm when they were anything but. I locked my phone, set it back in my lap, and took a sip of water, not the cranberry juice, not yet. My eyes flicked to my family, searching for a clue, a crack in their act, but they were locked in their roles. Dad the storyteller, Mom the host, my sister the disinterested teen. I tried to focus on the conversation, to nod at the right moments, but my mind was racing. What did the text mean? Why now? Why don't say anything to your parents? The words looped in my head, each one heavier than the last. But now it looked different, like it was hiding something. My gut churned, not from hunger, but from a growing sense of unease. I couldn't just sit there, pretending everything was fine. I needed answers, and I needed them now. "I'll be right back," I said, pushing my chair back with a soft scrape against the hardwood floor. "Just need to hit the bathroom." My voice sounded steadier than I felt, which was a small miracle. No one looked up. Mom kept nodding at Dad's story, and my sister didn't even bother to glance my way. It was almost too easy, like they didn't care what I was doing as long as I played along. I grabbed my phone and headed upstairs, my footsteps muffled by the carpet. The upstairs bathroom was my safe bet, its door locked tight, no janky handle to betray me. If I was going to figure this out, I needed privacy, a place where the clatter of dishes and my dad's voice couldn't follow me. I locked the door behind me, the click echoing in the small, tiled room. The air was cool, the faint hum of the ceiling fan overhead grounding me as I sat on the edge of the bathtub. My hands were steady, but my pulse wasn't. I opened the text again, staring at those words like they might change if I looked hard enough. "Get up and leave now. Don't say anything to your parents." No context, no explanation. Just a command that felt like it carried the weight of something dangerous. I hesitated, my thumb hovering over the call button. What if this was a mistake? What if I was about to make a fool of myself? But that small, sharp voice in my gut wouldn't shut up. I hit call. The phone rang once, maybe twice, before a voice picked up, low and tense, like the person was standing somewhere they shouldn't. "You're still there?" The words came fast, almost a whisper. My breath caught. "Who is this?" I asked, keeping my voice low to match his. "It's Mark, my sister's boyfriend or ex-boyfriend, depending on the week." I could never keep up with their drama. "Mark, what the hell is going on?" My voice cracked, betraying the panic I'd been trying to keep at bay. He didn't answer right away, and the silence was worse than the text. When he spoke again, his words were clipped, like he was choosing them carefully. "You need to leave. Just get up, walk out. Don't drink anything, especially not the juice." My mouth went dry, like I'd swallowed sand. The juice. That damn glass of cranberry juice, sitting innocently at my place like it always did. I hadn't touched it, thank God, but the thought of it now made my skin crawl. "Why?" I pressed, my voice barely above a whisper. "What's in it?" Mark hesitated again, and I could almost hear him weighing how much to tell me. "I can't. Just trust me, please." "Get out of there." His voice was tight, like he was standing on the edge of something he couldn't take back. "Not until you tell me why." I shot back, my patience fraying. I wasn't about to bolt from my parents' house without a reason. Not when everything still looked so normal downstairs. He let out a shaky breath, and when he spoke, his words hit like a punch. "It's the juice. I think they put something in it. Alcohol, maybe. Or something worse. I'm not sure, but you need to go. Now." My mind spun, trying to process what he was saying. Alcohol? Something worse? My family knew I couldn't handle alcohol. 2 sips of wine once knocked me out cold. They'd laughed it off, rolled their eyes when I swore off drinking for good. But this was different. This wasn't a joke or a misunderstanding. This was deliberate. My hands tightened around the phone, the cold edge of the bathtub pressing into my thighs. "Why would they?" I started, but Mark cut me off. "Please, just go. I'll explain later. Just don't stay there." The call ended before I could ask anything else, the silence in the bathroom louder than ever. I stared at the phone, my thumb still hovering over the screen. The text was still there, unyielding. "Get up and leave now. Don't say anything to your parents." My heart was pounding now, a steady drumbeat that drowned out the faint clinks of silverware from downstairs. I didn't know what was happening, but I knew one thing for sure. I wasn't going back to that table the same way I'd left it. Something was wrong, and I was about to find out just how deep it went. I sat on the edge of the bathtub, the cold tiles biting through my jeans, my phone still warm from the call with Mark. His words echoed in my head. "Don't drink the juice." The cranberry juice. That familiar red liquid sitting innocently at my place now felt like a loaded gun. My family, my own parents and sister, had put something in it. Alcohol, maybe, or something worse. The thought made my stomach twist, but I didn't have time to spiral. If I was going to get through this, I needed to stay sharp, to outsmart whatever game they were playing. I took a deep breath, steadied my hands, and opened an app I'd built myself, a little side project from my days as a junior developer. It could record audio in the background, no blinking lights, no notifications. Just a silent witness. I hit start, slipped the phone into my pocket, and headed back downstairs. The dining room was just as I'd left it. My heart pounding but my face calm. "Sorry about that," I said, forcing a casual tone. "Just needed a quick break." No one batted an eye. Mom nodded, Dad kept talking. The juice sloshed, and I caught my mom's eyes flick toward me, just for a second, before she looked away. It was subtle, but it was there, a crack in the facade. "Tastes like I remember," I said, smiling faintly, letting the glass hover near my lips. But I didn't drink. Instead, I waited for the right moment. Dad started up again about traffic, and my sister let out a half-hearted laugh at something on her phone. That's when I made my move. "Hey, was that someone pulling into the driveway?" I asked, my voice light, like I just noticed a stray noise. All 3 of them turned to look toward the window, their heads swiveling in unison. It was the distraction I needed. With their eyes off me, I tilted the glass under the table, letting the juice trickle onto the carpet. Not all of it, just enough to make it look like I'd taken a few sips. The dark liquid soaked into the fibers, disappearing almost instantly. I set the glass back on the table, now noticeably lighter, and leaned back in my chair. Man, I'm feeling kind of off, I said, letting my voice trail, my eyelids drooping just enough to sell it. Maybe I ate too fast or something. My mom leaned in, her face all concern, but there was something else there, something calculated. You okay, sweetie? She asked, her tone so soft it almost felt real. Yeah, I mumbled, rubbing my temple. Just woozy. I think I need to lie down for a bit. They didn't hesitate. Dad pushed back his chair. And my sister finally looked up from her phone, her expression unreadable. Come on, let's get you to the couch, Mom said, her hand on my arm, guiding me like I was fragile. It was surreal. The way they played the part of caretakers, their touches gentle but their intentions anything but. They led me to the living room, where I sank onto the couch, letting my body go limp, my eyes half closed. Someone, Mom, I think, draped a blanket over my legs, the weight of it warm and suffocating. I focused on my breathing, keeping it slow and even like I was slipping into a haze. My phone, still in my pocket, was recording every sound, every word, every betrayal. Is she asleep? My mom whispered, her voice so low I barely caught it. I kept still, my chest rising and falling like I was out cold. Yeah, she's out, my sister said, her tone flat, like she was stating a fact. There was a pause. Then the faint sound of my phone being lifted from the coffee table where I'd left it. My heart raced, but I didn't flinch. Fingers curled around my hand, lifting my thumb with careful precision. I felt the cool edge of my phone screen against my skin as they pressed my thumb to the sensor. A soft vibration unlocked. The casual efficiency of it was chilling, like they'd done this before, or at least planned it down to the second. Okay, we're in, my sister whispered, her voice tight with focus. I heard the faint tap of her fingers on the screen, navigating through apps. Routing number? My dad asked, his voice hushed but urgent. She's got everything saved, my sister replied, almost smug. How much are we doing? My mom asked. And there it was, the question that laid their plan bare.
Not all of it, Dad said.
Just enough to settle it. Settle what? I wanted to scream, but I kept still, my breathing steady, my eyes closed. She won't even know, my mom said, her voice calm, almost reassuring. If it goes through clean, she'll think she transferred it herself. My sister chimed in. I told you. She always blacks out after a drink. We just needed her to sleep through it. There it was out in the open. They thought I was unconscious, that they'd slipped something into the juice to knock me out, to make me their mark. My own family, my parents, my sister, working together to steal from me. The tapping continued, faster now. But then it stopped. It's asking for a code, my sister said, frustration creeping into her voice. Two-step verification, my mom muttered, like it was a personal insult. She changed it, my dad said, his sigh sharp and irritated. Try another app. More tapping, more silence, then my sister again, same thing. Everything's locked. The air in the room shifted, heavy with their failure. I stayed still, my heart hammering so loud I was sure they'd hear it. Just put the phone back, my mom said finally, her voice clipped. I heard the soft clunk of my phone hitting the coffee table, followed by the shuffle of footsteps as they moved back to the dining room. I waited, counting the seconds, giving them time to settle. Then I opened my eyes, slow and deliberate, like I was waking from a shallow nap. Sorry, I said, sitting up, blinking as if confused. Don't know what hit me there. They looked at me, their faces a mix of relief and something darker, something I couldn't quite name. But I knew one thing. My phone, still in my pocket, had captured every word, every damning detail. And I wasn't the one who was trapped anymore. I stepped out of my parents' house, the night air cool against my skin, the porch light casting long shadows across the driveway. My heart was still racing, but my steps were steady as I climbed into my car. The weight of what had just happened, my family's betrayal, their casual attempt to steal from me, sat heavy in my chest. But I didn't let it slow me down. I drove straight to the police station, the road stretching out under the glow of streetlights, my mind replaying every word I'd recorded on my phone. It wasn't anger driving me, not yet, just a quiet resolve to do what needed to be done. The station was a squat brick building, its fluorescent lights harsh against the darkness. I parked, took a deep breath, and walked inside, my phone clutched tightly in my hand. The lobby smelled faintly of coffee and disinfectant, and a guy in line ahead of me was arguing about a parking ticket. When it was my turn, I stepped up to the counter, looked the officer behind the glass in the eye, and said, "I need to report a crime." The woman behind the counter raised an eyebrow, her pen pausing over a clipboard. "What kind of crime?" she asked, her tone professional but curious. I didn't hesitate. "My family drugged me and tried to steal from my bank account," I said, my voice calm but firm. Her eyes widened, just for a second, before she nodded and gestured for me to follow her to a small room down the hall. It was plain, with a metal table, 2 chairs, and a computer that looked like it hadn't been updated since the early 2000s. The officer who joined me was older, his face lined but kind, and he didn't rush me. "Tell me what happened," he said, leaning back in his chair.
So I did.
I started with the dinner, the text from Mark, the juice I didn't drink, and the moment I realized my family was trying to use my thumb to unlock my phone. I pulled out my phone, opened the audio file, and played it. The recording was crystal clear. My sister's voice, smug as she said, "She's got everything saved." My dad asking, "How much are we doing?" My mom's chilling assurance that I'd think I transferred it myself. The officer listened, his expression unreadable, jotting notes as the voices filled the room. When the recording ended, he looked up, his eyes steady. "Do you realize what they were trying to do?" he asked. I nodded. "They wanted my money, to settle my sister's gambling debts." I handed over my phone, showing him the bank app logs, timestamps of failed login attempts that matched the recording perfectly. He nodded, typing slowly on the ancient computer, his fingers deliberate. "This is serious," he said, and I gave a small shrug. Yeah, it was. He asked if I was okay, if I had a safe place to stay, if I needed any support. I told him I'd already left, that I was fine, though fine felt like a stretch. Filing a police report wasn't something I'd ever imagined doing, especially not against my own family, but it didn't feel scary. It felt necessary. 2 days later, my phone lit up with notifications. 3 texts and a voicemail, all before noon. My mom's message was first. "Did you actually report your own family? What is wrong with you?" Her words stung, but I didn't respond. My sister's voicemail was next, her voice tight and shaky. "It was just a mistake. You made it worse than it had to be." I let my dad's call go to voicemail too. His message was sharp, almost desperate. "You think the cops will fix this? You're going to destroy everything. You don't do this to your own people." I stared at my phone, my thumb hovering over the screen. Then I texted back just once. "You drugged me. You tried to rob me. That's not family. That's a felony." I hit send, then blocked them: Mom, Dad, my sister, the group chats, every contact, even the emergency bypasses. I wasn't just closing a door, I was locking it and throwing away the key. The legal fallout came faster than I expected. The police had everything they needed: the audio, the bank logs, my statement. My family didn't fight the charges, not when the evidence was so clear. They were hit with probation, 1 year each, plus fines and community service. The court also issued a no-contact order, barring them from reaching out to me. It wasn't prison, but it was enough to leave a mark, a stain they couldn't wash out. I didn't go to the hearings. I didn't need to. The detective handling the case called to update me, his voice matter-of-fact as he listed the charges: attempted fraud, biometric misuse, conspiracy, administering a substance without consent. "They took a deal," he said. "It's done." I thanked him and hung up, the weight of it settling in. Justice, or something close to it, had been served. Cutting them off wasn't as hard as I thought it would be. I changed my phone number the next day, a small act that felt like reclaiming a piece of myself. I froze my credit, updated my will, and double-checked every security setting on my accounts. I'd spent years building systems to keep hackers out. Now I was using those skills to keep my family out. The silence that followed was heavy at first, like the air before a storm. But as the days turned into weeks, it started to feel clean, like I could finally breathe without someone else's expectations pressing down on me. I didn't hear from them, not directly. A cousin on my dad's side mentioned they'd sold the house, something about legal fees and debts piling up. No one in the family reached out to me, and I didn't reach out to them. The quiet was their answer, and mine. Looking back, I realized I'd been preparing for this moment long before that dinner. Every time I said no to their requests for money, every time I pushed back against their guilt trips, I was drawing a line. That night, they crossed it, and I made sure they couldn't cross it again. I wasn't the quiet one anymore, the reliable one who fixed their messes. I was done being their safety net. My apartment felt different now, like it was truly mine. Every coffee mug, every grocery receipt, every dollar in my bank account, it was all mine, earned by me for me. I didn't need their approval or their apologies. I had something better, freedom. The dust has settled, and my life feels like it's finally mine. Cutting ties with my family wasn't the gut-wrenching moment I'd feared. It was like stepping out of a cramped room into open air. No more texts asking for money. No more guilt trips disguised as family duty. Just quiet, clean freedom. I wake up now in an apartment where every coffee mug, every grocery run, every dollar in my account belongs to me. It's not flashy, but it's honest, and that's enough. I heard through the grapevine that my sister's working at a grocery store across town, stacking paper towels in a polo and vest, her finance dreams shelved for now. I saw her once, by chance, staring at a shelf like it held all the answers. I didn't say a word, just paid for my pasta and left. Mark, her boyfriend, is long gone, packed up and out of the picture. No explanation needed. As for me, I'm building my life, one step at a time, coding, freelancing, chasing my own goals without looking back. Was I too harsh cutting them off like that? Or did I not go far enough? Let me know in the comments what you think, your stories, your thoughts. They keep this channel alive. If this hit home, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell for more real stories like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.